Hi everybody, Scott Dillon here from the North American SAP Cloud Platform team. And tonight I want to bring you my personal recommendation on how to architect loosely coupled event-driven applications using SAP Cloud Platform. And this topic has never been more relevant with the advent of so many line of business solutions that we have at SAP, whether it's Ariba, Cloud for Customers, SuccessFactors, S4 in the cloud. One of the fundamental questions is, how do you integrate these applications? How do you extend ECC and S4 in such a way that they're easy to maintain, it's flexible, you can minimize your disruption when you want to add something to the architecture or take something away? What's the best way in order for you to do this? So what you see before you is an end-to-end architecture for building out an incident management application, which you can see here. So the idea is, how would we build a small application for recording incidents? You see a pothole, you see a frayed wire, you see a broken light. How would you report that? And what are some of the major things you'd like to have, such as being able to review incidents, which essentially implies a custom workflow, somewhere to store the data, integration with back-end systems such as employee health and safety, and of course the ability to report on it. And so what I've tried to do with the help of some of my colleagues is put together this architecture and be able to show you how that would work. So from the beginning, we've got this CAP module in the middle, and this is the foundation for the application, in the sense that this is where we publish a set of REST OData services, V4, that our various services can hook into. So on the right-hand side, you'll see a choice of UIs. In this particular case, I'll be showing you a UI5 app. I'll show you a quick glimpse of the MDK app. We also have a conversational AI app, all with the intent of showing you how you can easily reuse these CAP services to create these different user interfaces. And once that event or that safety incident is processed by CAP and stored inside of HANA, we then show you quite easily how to then publish an event. And because we have provided some integration between CAP and the enterprise messaging service, it's literally 2 lines of code to publish an event into the enterprise messaging system, and then we can subscribe to that event from any number of places, which gives us a really nice flexible architecture, because I can snap in my applications on the bottom. Now, I have chosen to use all custom ones here, but this could be SuccessFactors, this could be Ariba, this could be Cloud for Customer, it could be ECC. But in this particular case, what I'd like to do is show again our customers how they can create custom workflows, because custom workflows are a critical part of every company's day-to-day business. So how would I go about doing that, and how can I do it in near real time, so that from the time that somebody creates an event, hey, somebody gets notified that there's a new safety incident to be reviewed. And so that's going to be done via this function as a service, which is part of our serverless offering. Serverless because customers don't have to worry about the servers behind the scenes. SAP takes care of it. You write your business logic, we scale it, we take care of it, you write the logic, and then you're done. And then over here on the left-hand side, we've got CPI, our Cloud Platform Integration Service. It's going to be listening as well on a queue, listening for new safety incidents, taking those, formatting them a little bit, and placing them in a flat file to be processed by maybe a third party, to be processed by an individual. And then last but not least, we have SAC, the SAP Analytics Cloud, that we're going to use to generate a nice story that can then show the managers of these safety incidents how many we have, maybe by category, the average time in between statuses, all kinds of interesting little tidbits that are essentially done, in the matter of minutes with our analytics tooling. So this is a nice, compact end-to-end scenario. Let me show you what it looks like. So the starting point is right here. So somebody comes in, and this is our custom UI5 application, and they hit the plus. And we want to create a new incident, which I will do now. I'm going to give it a title using my user ID, and I'll describe why in a minute. Broken glass seems to be my favorite one these days. I'm going to put that here. I'm going to submit it with a picture. Security is the category code. I'll put the priority as high. Don't like broken glass, and I'm going to save it. And so what we've just done is back here on the UI front, we brought up our desktop in this case. We've submitted a safety incident to the CAP Nodejs application, and if all went well, it should be stored on the HANA database. But what if I'd like to show that, use that on a mobile device? Well, we do have something from SAP inside a cloud platform called the SAP Mobile Services Mobile Development Kit. And the Mobile Development Kit is basically a set of features and functionality that lets you build a completely native application for iOS or Android by configuring your application in the cloud. And you can see it's prompting me for my Face ID, so it is a true native application. And it's showing a little chart, so you have some nice visualizations at the front. And we have a list of our incidents here. We have the plus button on the top right-hand side. It conforms to the Fury design principles, so it has a similar look and feel to the one that I just showed you in a web browser, except this one is native. If I wanted to add push to it, I could. If I wanted to do offline with it, I could. So a lot of different possibilities here with the native application. But we created our incident, so no need to continue down that path. So let's shut that down. So now we've shown you mobile device, desktop. We'll skip the CAI one for now, just keeping time in mind. Maybe do another video on that one shortly. And we've created an event. And so what's going to happen next is the CAP Node.js application, which, at the end of the day, what's really powerful about a CAP application and why it's important for customers is because we let you focus on what you need. So in this case, what you need is a safety incident entity. You've got some attributes associated with it. You've got this association keyword, which is a relationship to another entity. Nowhere do you see in this file a description of the how. In other words, there's no HANA syntax here. So we take the responsibility of generating the HANA syntax behind the scenes, which will definitely save you time and money. Why? Because this model also supports the use of SQLite locally. So you'll do your development locally. We'll generate the structures for SQLite. You don't have to worry about that. And when the time comes to deploy it to the cloud and push out into production, we'll generate the production artifacts on HANA, on Cloud Foundry for you. So there's nothing to do there. So then we have the schema, and of course, given today is a world full of microservices this and microservices that, of course, we want to have services in front of that structure. So here we have the one line that's required to expose that entity as a REST OData version 4 structure, along with automatically generated create, read, update, and delete artifacts. So this gives you an immediate start, out of the gate. You're getting 70% of what you need. And then, of course, you're going to complement it with your custom business logic, which is where, we have this notion where you can include custom handlers and put whatever code it is you want. You can completely replace what we generate, or you can add to what we generate so you get exactly what you want. It's the best of both worlds. We give you something you can use. You take the 70, you add the 30. So this is really good. So here we are. We have some custom code. We published the event. Let's pop back over to here. Inside the enterprise messaging environment, we've got a queue called workflow queue, and every single time we're creating a safety incident, it's placing a message here. So you might be thinking, well, hold on a second, but there's no messages. Well, that's right, because what should have happened is that the second that a message gets placed onto this enterprise messaging bus, the function as a service wakes up based on the fact that there was a safety incident that has arrived that I'm subscribed to. So it starts up the code that's in there, which looks like this. So we've got one function deployed called initiate workflow. It's sitting there. The code that's behind it, not that complicated. It looks like this. Index.js, and essentially down below, it's got a request.post command. So I get the message, I parse it a little bit, and then I make the request to call the API for the workflow engine to start that custom workflow. So what does that mean? Well, it means from the time that I submit the message and the incident, within a second or a second and a half, now a workflow instance has been started to look at that incident. And so then, well, what's this workflow stuff all about? How does that fit together? Well, here is an example of that exact process. So the idea is we want to put this workflow service into the hands of business analysts that can then write, configure custom business processes relevant to your business, relevant to your scenario. Now, we've modeled one out here. You can see retrieve incident details, retrieve the individuals that might work on it, determine the relevant processor. And these are boxes that we've dragged from this palette over to create this custom workflow. And it all uses business process modeling notation, but that's the way that goes together. And then you'll see maybe here this familiar little icon. It's the person icon, and this is known as a user task. And I've purposely left this one out to show you that embedded inside of it, we have a form builder, which anybody could use. If we pop down here, we put 1.0. I say create, you'll see that we have a form generator built into the tool. So I could say, title, I could say description, and essentially this is the skill set that you would need to build out a new form. So you're building out the form, and then that particular form is going to be used within the context of this user task. And what does that mean? Well, it means it uses the inbox from Fiori. So there's an inbox sitting inside of Fiori. When a new incident comes in, it automatically goes there. So what exactly does that look like? Well, let's pop over to the Fiori inbox. And so let's do a refresh here. And then what you'll see, this is the set of tiles required to look at that. And here I've got my inbox. So I'm going to click on it. And you'll see the reason why I use my ID when I created the incident is so that we can route it to the right person. You wouldn't normally do this in production in terms of putting your username into the title, but just for this demonstration scenario, it gives me something easy to route it. So you can see I've got 5149. I've got some broken glass in my car. The category is security. So that's been routed automatically to my inbox along with my other incidents. And the way that this form is constructed is with that form builder that anyone can use without any coding. So it's quick and easy to deliver and design, no problem. And if this is not enough, we have another version where you can embed a custom UI5 component. If you wanted to look a little bit different, or if there's something in here that you couldn't do, you can use some code to then complement that, which is the other thing. So this is, so far, we've seen user interface through a service into CAP, using CAP, storing it in HANA. This is an application running on Cloud Foundry, publishing real-time events to the enterprise messaging service that are then pulled off via this function as a service, starting a custom workflow where I can then approve or reject that incident. So looks like bad glass. And so from here, when I hit that confirm, I might want to send it to ServiceNow. I might want to create a work order. I might want to create an incident inside employee health and safety. Sky's the limit. But however, maybe I'd like to get and use integration services. Excuse me for 1 second while this page refreshes. But maybe I'd like to use integration services for a more complicated system-to-system type of scenario. So inside here, you can see I've got a custom iFlow where I'm using, on the left-hand side, EM stands for Enterprise Messaging. On the right, I've got an SFTP server, and I've got the AMQP adapter configured to listen to the Enterprise Messaging service on a queue. And it's pulling messages off the queue, it's doing a little conversion, it's reaching out to the CAP service to get additional detail when the iFlow runs, brings it back, and then puts that information into a flat file placed on an SFTP server. Now, this is a very simple scenario. It could be much more complicated. It could be reaching into SAP. It could be reaching into SuccessFactors for details around the individuals processing the event. It could be a lot of different things, but it's just a small scenario to show you specifically how you can loosely couple these consumers that are listening for these messages. Now, last but not least, I think everybody would like to maybe be able to now see how many events. So what we did is we built out a really simple SAP Analytics Cloud dashboard. We have a little RSS feed here about health and safety incidents. We know our average days between incident statuses. We can see the total number of incidents, and we simply put a nice chart together that's pulling the data from our CAP service via OData, so SAC supports OData. And then we've got a combination chart here, line, bar, showing the number of incidents per category and the average days between, just to kind of show you the art of the possible. And of course, on top of that, we could layer predictive, do some regressions, things like that. But I wanted to give you an idea about the art of the possible, building loosely coupled applications with SAP Cloud Platform, taking advantage of mobile, taking advantage of UI5, building some custom workflows, putting it all together so that you can quickly and easily deliver value with SAP Cloud Platform. Hope you found that interesting. If you have any questions, put a note below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.